Hey, it's Joe, and in this video, I want to talk to you about how to awaken. Now, this ties into why I make so many videos. The reason is because the method that's traditionally used, has been used for centuries to awaken humans, is liberation by listening. And all this basically means is that when someone who's recognized their true nature begins to describe that experience to another person, over time, the reality that's being described begins to dawn in the other person's perception. This is why fire is often used as a metaphor for the fire of knowledge, the fire of awakening in ancient Hindu scriptures such as the Upanishads, because a fire can ignite another fire. So it's a very useful metaphor. And that's all what's happening here. Fire ignites fire. So as I describe the experience of your true nature, you have the opportunity to assess that in your own experience. And this is why I love this topic of spirituality, because many conceptual spiritual practices or avenues, they require you to have faith. So if I start to describe to you about the magic orb behind the mountain, that is the source of all power. And when you do this hand gesture to the magic orb of power, you start to awaken. So every morning, wake up and picture the magic orb behind the mountain, which none of us have ever seen, but I'm telling you I've seen it. And do this hand gesture and maybe do that as well. And close your eyes and picture the orb and you're awakened. It's just basically a belief system, right? It's adopting a belief system. And if I'm particularly charismatic and I can get a few other people to also subscribe to my view, then there's 10 of us going like this, picturing the orb. And because humans are social creatures, you're just going to want to join in. And you'll sit there and you'll be like, is this working? And if people are going like, oh, wow, oh my God, I can see the orb, you're going to think like, what am I doing wrong? And once you have that thought, what am I doing wrong? You've now created an authority, a gap between you doing it wrong and the teacher doing it right. And that's how cults are formed. That's how religions are formed. But this isn't that. This is liberation by listening. I describe something and you check it in your own experience. Is it true for you? If it's not true for you, it's a philosophy. If it is true for you, then it's awakening. And you can test it. You can test it. I tested this for years before I became really committed. I think it was 3 years I was testing this idea of non-duality. And I first came across it in 2004 and I had a big awakening and then a downward slide after that, which I described in another video called Realizations Aren't It. And in 2007, I was on a motorbike in Thailand and I had a crash. And I was in the air. And in that moment, I realized my former practice, hypnosis and EFT, the tapping, couldn't help. Am I going to be in a motorbike crash in the air going, even though I'm having a crash, I deeply and completely accept myself? No. Hypnosis. Am I going to pull out some headphones and listen, flying through the air, ready to crash? No, like it's not going to work, right? Am I going to buy something? Is my money going to help me? Is my girlfriend at the time going to help me? Can my parents send a mattress for me to land on? No one can help. Can I help me? I can't even help me. My body's incapacitated because I'm in the air, right? I'm not in control of it anymore. And in that moment, I realized, wow, it's true. The only thing that can really help you in your life is the great refuge of non-duality, of resting as awareness, of allowing everything to be as it is, of recognizing the indivisible nature of all experience. That there is no self. There is no separate self. There is a body, but the body is indivisible from awareness. That if I lose the body, I'm still here. In the face of raging pain, I'm still liberated as the knower of pain. Can the knower of pain feel pain? It's absurd that the knower of pain has no capacity to feel. Pain is a sensation within the body, and it's even a mind creation as well if you really go into it. But anyway, I won't go too far off the topic. The point is that motorbike crash convinced me that this was the right path for me. So you must test it in your own life. So it's called liberation by listening. So as you watch this video now, because I'm not talking about the orb behind the mountain and this strange practice that I just invented, don't steal it, it's copyrighted. Liberation by listening is different because I'm just talking about your current experience. It's like, so currently you're watching a video. Am I watching a video? Yeah, I'm watching a video. And you're sitting or lying down, most likely. Okay, yeah, I'm sitting down. And you can feel your body on the chair. And there's a sensation there. And if you close your eyes momentarily and focus on the sensation, what is the sensation surrounded by? What is the sensation appearing in? It's appearing inside a field of consciousness. Can you add anything else to that field of consciousness? Add a pink elephant. Oh, I can do that. Okay. Does it remain? You see, so I can describe an experience which you can test and verify. It's not behind a mountain. It's right there. That's why it's called a direct path, because it's directly available for you. Is the elephant still there? Of course it's not. So our experience is transitory. They're transitory, right? Whenever you close your eyes, is that knowing space present? It's always there. So is that always present? Wow, it's always present. Does it ever change? Well, the things within it change. Yeah, but does it change? No. So I'm just describing your reality. And there's going to be lots of protests from your mind, from your causes and conditions. This can't be right. This is boring. What's he talking about? I don't trust him. This is another stupid video. I'm just going to move on. Feel free. But the point is that experience there, I'm also describing that, right? That's what's happening, right? And what's behind that? Where did you learn that a video is stupid or not stupid? So these are just questions that we ask, and we point out your reality. And we keep doing that. We keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over. It's so goddamn repetitive, but we make it interesting, but it's so repetitive because the idea is that if you listen to it enough, you'll recognize it. And it's not hypnosis. Hypnosis is describing an experience that's not currently happening. So for instance, hypnosis would be you're floating through the sky and you're carried by a warm current, and the warm current is bringing to you everything you've ever wanted. So it's delicious, right? But it's not real. I'm describing an unreal thing that happens to be pleasant when you imagine it, but it's not real. But your experience right now of consciousness is the only real thing there is. So this is why I make so many videos, and this is why I suggest, and I'm going to say this so you don't think I'm just trying to get views. Any channel you like, doesn't matter to me. Find a non-duality channel and just press play all. Just press play all and listen to the whole thing back to back. Just have it on just as much as you can. Because what will happen is suddenly these little nuggets start to ignite. The little embers, the little smoky embers start to ignite in your experience little by, and suddenly you're like, wait a minute. And then you have this, your first glimpse. And when you have your first glimpse, your conviction will grow. And you'll be like, I'm still a bit suspicious, but my God, I did feel quite liberated for a moment, and it will happen again. And then something might happen whereby, like my motorbike accident was key for me. One of my students, they said that they was in a situation where they was in a road rage incident, and they got out of their car and they were pretty angry, and the other people got out the car, and it wasn't because they were scared or anything. The other person got out the car and they were shouting, and suddenly they went, this is silly, like I'm completely free. And they just said, hey, you know, they calmed the whole situation down. Where before they would have been lost to the defensiveness that road rage promotes. And they just said, hey, let's just, you know, squash this. Sorry about that. It's probably my fault anyway. Have a nice day. And they just released it. So, and then your conviction grows again, and you go back and go, wow, that's odd. I can do that. So this is why it's called liberation by listening. And the practice is to listen as much as you can, but test it in your own experience. Never take anything as a belief system. If I ever tell you something that you cannot verify, discard it. Immediately discard it. I don't do that, and I'll always qualify that this is a belief I have. If people ask me some of the why questions, why does the universe exist? Why does the absolute divulge into so many different sentient beings? These are belief system based answers that I have. They're not part of the teaching. The only part of the teaching that is part of the teaching is the things you can test and verify immediately, not even tomorrow, right now. Are you awake? Can you perceive these sounds? Are your senses on? Are you present? Is there a knower? Can you process this information? Are you self-lit? When you close your eyes, is the darkness itself illuminated, right? Can you rely on your senses? Is there ever been an experience when your senses have deluded you? Like the sun falling or rising from the ocean, which is not happening. The earth is rotating, but we're completely deluded by that, right? So are your senses reliable? So what is reliable? The knowing of the senses, and so on and so forth. This is not a discourse, but I just wanted to let you know that the awakening, it happens by a fire of knowledge igniting your own fire of knowledge, and it begins by igniting embers that one of them ignites, and then it begins to burn on its own. That is why you watch these videos. Okay, I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. And I am doing events very soon, so if you look up above, maybe here, or no, you have to go to my channel actually, don't you? In the description, go to my website and register, and I'll be starting events very, very soon. I hope to see you there, and then you can ask me all the questions that you want, and make the questions as hard and difficult, as challenging as you possibly can, because that's how your conviction dawns. The whole point of online meetings is to extinguish doubts, and that means you have to raise them, and only you can do that. All right, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.